winning, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul Sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. That like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knicks family. Is there anybody happier than me this morning? The Knicks played Charlotte at Madison Square Garden last night. And like we talked about on Nothing But Knicks pregame show, that it would be a close one, that these teams play a similar style. It turned out to be true. 134 to 131, the Knicks won in overtime. Let's get to it. Good morning to Pudge, Shot Powers, Jerrell. It was a good one. It was a good one. Let's move, right into, the Knicks came into the game 2-1. Charlotte also came into this game 2-1. Knicks 6th in the league coming in the conference coming in. Again, it's mad early. Charlotte 3rd in the league coming in. They both had the same record, so I'm not quite sure how they determined that one was 3rd, the other one was 6th. These offensive and defensive ratings are a bit off, actually. Charlotte's defensive rating, I want to say, was 5th, and the offensive rating coming into the game, I want to say, was 8th. So those are a little off. Charlotte was without LaMelo Ball at point guard. They was without their backup point guard at Rozier, and of course Miles Bridges. We're not sure when he's gonna come back. So they started Dennis Smith Jr. We know who he is, right? Played well, by the way. At point guard, Kelly Oubre, who's usually at small forward, played shooting guard. Gordon Hayward at small forward. PJ Washington at power forward. Mason Plumlee at center. And we had our usual cast of characters: Brunson, Fournier, Barrett, Randall, Mitchell, Robinson. So let's get right into it in terms of the individual stats. Again, for the Knicks, now 3-1. Quentin Grimes remains out. We'll see what's going on there. Brunson continuing to do Brunson things. I'm not sure we win this game without Jalen Brunson, and we'll talk about him later on in the player spotlight. 27 points, 13 assists, 7 rebounds, shot 66.6% from the field. I believe it was 40% from 3, 100% from the free from the free throw line, if I'm not mistaken. Barrett, 22 points, 8 rebounds, shot better, 42.9% from the field. Did not hit a three-pointer in this game. I thought Barrett's performance was up and down. I mean, obviously, if you look at the stats, you would say great. But if you're looking at the game within the game, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just key on a player and I'll just follow them for a few possessions on offense and defense. I followed Mitch on defense for a few possessions just to key in on his rebounds. But overall, I thought RJ Barrett played very well. Aggressive, finishing at the rim. I thought his defense was so-so. There was times when he was on it and was able to keep his man in front of him, other times when he wasn't. But that's not unique to RJ Barrett on this team, especially last night. He did miss 6 of 7 shots in that fourth quarter and overtime. But the one he did hit, we needed it. That free throw, in the waning moments of crunch time and overtime when we knew they were going to foul us. The ball came into RJ Barrett. There was an opportunity to hand it off to Brunson, who was playing extremely well. And RJ elected to keep the ball himself, get fouled, go to the line. That's a confident young man, to want those shots in that moment. He did hit them. But for me, my preference would have been to hand it off to Brunson, who was playing lights out up to that point, given how uneven RJ's performance was. However, he betted on himself. He had a lot of confidence in himself, and he hit both of those shots. So you can't be mad. You can't be mad at that. Randall, 17.6 rebounds, did not shoot well last night. 36.8% from the field. Took 2 3-pointers, missed both of them, but I'm happy he only took 2. Don't force it. You're not a great 3-point shooter. So I don't know if that was just great recognition on his part, to only take 2, or that's just what he got in the flow of the game. There was 5 Knicks in double figures. The Knicks shot lights out, 53.6% from the field. They shot much better from 3, 36.7% from the 3-point line. Still, I think as far as 3-point percentage, still ranked 24th in the league at 35.5%. We was much better last year, so we still got time. Hopefully, I'm pretty confident, I should say, that gets better. Charlotte now 2-2, again without LaMelo Ball. Rozier, Hayward, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. PJ Washington, 17 points, 5 rebounds, hit 4 3-pointers. You get 4 3-pointers from your power forwards. It's pretty good. Oubre Jr., 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. They had 7 in double figures. Charlotte Hornets came to play. They was trying to give us the business last night, but the Knicks responded. They shot basically what they shoot coming into the game, 49.5% from the field, basically 42% from the 3-point line. I know coming into the season, we were looking at, where the Knicks would fall in the Eastern Conference rankings, and we looked at Charlotte and we were like, we don't need to worry about them. They're without Miles Bridges. Then we learned LaMelo Ball sprained his ankle. Oh, forget about them. They're going to be there. Like, this Eastern Conference is going to be a dogfight. But what I feel confident in is that the Knicks are in the fight. There's something about this team that to me looks like it could be special. Let's see how it plays out. But I'm liking what I'm seeing, especially in crunch time. And a lot of that has to do with Brunson. And we'll talk about that a little more later on. But Charlotte doesn't look like they're going away. They played without their starting power forward last year, basically without 3 starters from last year, right? And they're 500. They beat Atlanta. They lost to the Knicks in overtime at Madison Square Garden. I'm not trying to big them up too much. Only thing I'm saying is they're going to be right there when it comes to the teams in the East. Like, it's not like they're going to be the 15th team. So that was a really good game. All right, let me get into my observations. I'm gonna check in with the chat first. Though Louisiana Knicks, salute. Mitch had a key defensive rebound. Yes. Mitch was off the chains last night. I have no complaints about Mitchell Robinson. We'll talk about him later. A lot of what he does not show up in the stat sheet. And you could say that last year, but this year is at another level. Kerry Cox, we had 6 in double figures. Okay. D World of Hoop, appreciate you. Let me know in the chat if you're still going on today at 12. I know that's what you usually do, but let us know if there's any changes with that. Deron Wayne, good morning. Yes, D's World of Hoops. Yeah, good morning. Nobody, where was the comment? Nobody was playing defense last night. And like, that's my first observation of the game. This was a barn burner. This was, one of those games where defense just wasn't being played. And my perspective on that is just win. Just win. There's going to be games where it's going to be a shootout, and there's going to be those knockdown, drag out, muddy type 90s Knicks type of games throughout the season. And I like the Knicks' chances in both of them. I like the Knicks' chances in both of them. So there'll be games like this. There'll be, like I said, knockdown games as well. But I just feel confident in this team that no matter what, they'll be able to play both ways. I mean, they put up 134 points. That's significant. They gave up 131 too, but that's significant. I like how everyone contributed to the win. We got a little something for everybody from everybody, especially in that overtime, and we'll talk about that. I like how poised we were down the stretch, and a lot of that has to do with Brunson. His demeanor doesn't change. He knows exactly what's going on the floor. He knows exactly what we need. And if you haven't noticed, when it comes to big shots, he ain't passing it. He taking the shot. He's betting on himself. We need a bucket right here, and I'm going to get it. And I trust him. I trust him. He has the best touch on the team, the best shot on the team. He can get wherever he wants to go on the floor. He's not a very speedy guy, but with his handle allows him to get where he wants to get. And he's able to create separation with the step back, with the fadeaway, without losing his touch. That is Brunson, So I was all in on Brunson 2 years ago when I was watching, like, the Knicks need to go out and get somebody like Brunson, checking to see when he would become, a free agent. So super excited about him. We talked about, RJ Barrett, who seems to be turning the corner. Still some things he needs to, to fix up. He had 4 turnovers last night. And again, I just want to say to the chat, good morning, Jay Boogie. When I'm talking about a player, I'm going to give both sides. I'm going to give both sides. He came through for us, 22-8. We needed those points. We only won by 3. So we needed every point from every player that we got, and RJ Barrett gave us 22 of them. He rebounded. He shot better. But those 4 turnovers, the defense, not just him, for the entire Knicks, needs to get better as we go along. I thought his performance was okay. The Knicks shot 57% from the field in the first quarter, 59% from the field in the second quarter, and I think, what did I just say, 50-something% from the game. But as Clyde said, heroes abound in that overtime win. That play where they trapped Brunson, they did it one time. They trapped Brunson on the left side of the court above the three-point line. He was able to dribble out of that, hit Mitch for the dunk into the trap. And that's what happens when you have somebody that's really good. The coach is like, we they got a dunk out of that. Let's lay off of that. He had a clutch 3, multiple clutch 2-point shots, the fadeaway over Dennis Smith Jr., who played well, by the way. Mitch with the huge block in overtime. Mitch started on the perimeter. I want to say it was PJ Washington, I'm not quite sure right now, who drove to the basket. Mitch was right there. Mitch was on the side of him, but when you have length, you don't have to be right in front. Use your length, and that's what Mitch did. Mitch followed him down into the key and blocked the shot. Mitch was defensively, Mitch patrolled the paint last night. You can look at his points, you can look at his rebounds. He has 6 block shots, phenomenal. But the shots that he also altered, the dribble penetration that he stopped with people, a player would dribble in, Mitch would step up, they would dribble back out. All of those little things really helps our defense. Randall with the big layup. Still, I'm talking about overtime in OT to put us up by 3, 132 to 129 with 19 seconds left. After missing 2 of his prior layups, the same move, got to the basket, was strong on both of them, but this time he was able to hit it. He also had a boneheaded play, saving the ball. It was an air ball. Let it go. He's trying to save save the ball. Like there was like a brain fart right there. Like stay focused, especially, down the stretch. And I talked about Barrett with the 2 big free throws. My preference would have been for him to hand it off to Brunson. He bet it on himself. He took it, and he made it. So, you can't really complain. He made it. Let's get into the defense. This will be a short segment right here. Let me check in with the chat first. We had 7 players in double figures. Thomas Bake. It's not even that we didn't need Mitch to score. Mitch is not going to score. He's not going to score unless he gets an offensive rebound and put it back. Unless somebody hits him for a lob, that's what you're going to get from Mitch. However, did you see do you want to call it the turnaround jumper in the lane, maybe about 5 feet out? That was the first time I've seen Mitch take that shot in his entire career. So, kudos to Mitch. Maybe that's a prelude of things to come, offensively for Mitch. Yes, his pitching world coverage was superb. Shy Gunner. I don't know if RJ sucks, but he'll get better. He'll get better. Pudge Nice. He told Randall to relax. Yeah. Kerry Cox, I agree. We needed this win because our next 7 games are really crazy. But you know what? I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it because I want to see what we have early. And even, win or lose, you can still, again, the game within the game, you could still assess your team. They may not pull it out, but you can see some good things. Even when they do pull it out, you can see some things they need to work on. But I am so looking forward to this stretch of games. Louisiana Knicks, Brunson may be better than we ever thought he could be. If he's this consistent, dude may be an all-star this year. I agree. A lot of it also depends on where the Knicks finish, right? Sometimes that makes a difference. I mean, unless you're just playing lights out and your team is not winning, you might still get the nod. But a lot of times, they'll pick, and not necessarily the fans, the coaches will pick the players from the winning teams. So we'll see. He's looking like an all-star right now. Do the Knicks pull this game out last season? I don't think so. Do the Knicks even get into overtime, last season? I don't think so. I think that's just the impact that Brunson is having on the team this year. Defense, other than Mitch, this is a short, conversation. Just wasn't a lot of defense played in this game. The Knicks got the shots that they wanted. Charlotte got the shots that they wanted. You saw the energy. It didn't look like they weren't engaged on defense. The defense just wasn't effective. Just wasn't effective. We did out rebound them. I want to say 46-42. We had 11 block shots, and like I said, Mitchell was phenomenal. Offensively, we're moving to me, the pace is slowing down a little bit. I don't see us busting to get the ball up the court like we were the first few games. We're shooting a little later in the shot clock than we were the first few games. I think in terms of pace, we're at 16. We're at 16 now. Excuse me, I had to take some notes really quick because when I was preparing for the show, the stats weren't updated on NBA.com last night. So I ran in really quick and just jotted some things down. But we're at 16th in pace right now. But the ball is still moving, right? We may not be shooting as early in the shot clock, but for the most part, the ball is still moving. It may stick a little bit here and there with Randall, but for the most part, it is night and day from last year, right? You can see the difference night and day from last year, but from preseason, early in the season, the first 2 games, it's slowing down um, a little bit. We talked about RJ already. We talked about Randall already. Fournier had his best game, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, shot 54% from the field, only 33% from 3 before fouling out. And I thought his defense was adequate. I mean, I think he did a little too much at the end of some of those defensive possessions and picked up fouls. But as far as him being engaged on defense, trying to stay with his man, fighting over screens, I didn't have any issues with Fournier, and I should say not more than I had with the rest of the team. Put it that way. Yes, definitely hit that like button if you're enjoying the content. The bench collectively, 59 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, 7 3-pointers. What are you doing with the minutes you get? We could say this person needs more minutes, this person needs more minutes. First of all, it's about the team as a whole and not an individual player. But what are you doing with your minutes? And the bench did well with their minutes. Other than Cam, no one else played over 19 minutes. I believe Cam had 24 minutes. Other than Cam, everybody shot, relatively well. I believe over 50%. Cam shot 33%. But Cam's length, Cam's defense, if you want to say defense last night, really wasn't a defensive game, but that's what he brings. In my opinion, he's almost like our Swiss Army knife, similar to Burke. Obviously, his ceiling is higher. He can do more things, than Burke, but you need somebody to bring the ball up. Cam can do that. You need somebody with length. Cam has it. Somebody who can initiate the offense. Cam can do that. Cam can hit the 3. Cam can drive to the basket. He can do all of it. Now, are you relying on him to hit threes, consistently, drive and finish at the rim consistently? No. But during the course of a game, all of those things Cam Reddish can do. And it's good to have somebody on your team who can do multiple things. Fournier fouled out. Cam got those minutes. Obi 13 minutes, but he maximized those minutes. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 50% from the field, 3 or 4 from the 3-point line. iHeart, 15 minutes, but he maximized it. 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, shot 80% from the field. IQ, 19 minutes, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 50% from the field, 66.7% from 3, 75% from the 3-point line. He did have 3 turnovers, and there were some possessions where he didn't play within the flow of the game, but overall, I thought IQ was fine last night. Rose, 12 minutes, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 71% from the field, 40% from 3, 100% from the 3-point line, 1 turnover. And I love how we're playing Rose. 12 minutes, that's it. 12 to 16 minutes from Rose. That's all we need from him. So I like the way the bench played last night. Let me check in with the chat before I get to the player spotlight. Keith Turner, if we had a third efficient scorer, this team would be much better. I mean, listen, let's see. Randall wasn't efficient tonight. Let's see, but the first, what is the 4th game, 3 games, he has been. Let's see if he continues to be efficient. Let's see if RJ is efficient this season. Historically, he hasn't been. I think he's shooting 41, 42% 40% from the field for his career, his young career. Let's see if it's better last night. I mean, this season, I think he took 21 shots last night, made 8 or 9 of them, something like that. But I agree. If you have 3 efficient scorers, it bodes well for us. Salute to Ashley Inc. 1. Salute Queen. I'm still sleepy, but I remember to hit that like button. The chat has over 4 times the number of likes. Hit that like button. Definitely, I appreciate you. Hit the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button so you'll be notified anytime I go live or drop a video, or on Tuesday night. Yeah, when we go live Tuesday nights with the Just Nicking It panel show. I'm Sherwin. I appreciate you rocking with us. Good morning. Did you see why Mitch couldn't get more offensive rebounds? Most times he was going to help or try to block a shot and was out of position for a rebound. I'm never worried about Mitch's offensive rebounds. My preference is more defensive rebounds, and he got it. And he got that last night. Mitch was a monster. I have no complaints about Mitch. What's going on with my clicker today? Salute, JJ. I appreciate you. Sharice Duncan, RJ got to show up versus the Bucks. I think he showed up today. He just didn't shoot. He just didn't shoot well, but he still gave us 22 points, 8 rebounds, and we needed them. I think we out-rebounded them by 4. We won by 3. So he has to get better. I think defensively, we have to get better. We're going to go over the Bucks, in a little bit. Their offensive rating is not great. I think they're in the 20s, but their defensive rating is number 1 per 100 possessions. I think they're giving up like 98, 99 points per game. Trade Fournier and Randall. This is ridiculous. White Falcon 44. Now, I don't know if you mean actually trade them because their play is ridiculous, or people are asking for Randall and Fournier to be traded, and that is ridiculous. Let me know which one you're talking about. White Falcon 44. Yes, I saw that. Mitch even took a 6-foot jumper. Love it. Yeah. What about the clutch block from RJ? Absolutely. There were heroes abounded in this game, especially in the overtime. And we needed everything, whether it was a deflection, whether it was a key shot, whether it was a block. Listen, on the play heading into overtime, RJ was picked off. Randall's man picked RJ off, and RJ thought it was going to be a switch. So both of them were on whoever it was. And PJ Washington, who hit like maybe 4 3-pointers this game, was open at the top of the key. I believe it was PJ Washington. And RJ hustled and was able to get back into that play, move his feet to shut off the drive and to contest the 3-point shot. And that's when, Gordon Hayward put a shot up, over Mitchell Robinson, who was right there to contest and missed. And we went into overtime. So kudos to the Knicks. Last night, again, it was an offensive game, but we won it. You can go back to practice today and work on your defense and look at film and the things you need to correct. But I love doing that after a win than after a loss, right? What else can we say about Jalen Brunson? 40 minutes, 27.7 rebounds, 13 assists. He had a block shot, took 15 shots, hit 10 of them. 27 points on 15 shots. Let that sink in. Talk about efficiency. Took 5 3-pointers, made 2, went to the line 5 times, made all 5 of them. I'm not sure what else we can say about it. Jerrell, that's my point guard. He's been saying that all season. He's changing the game for the Knicks. He's raising the ceiling for the Knicks. We can't even talk about the Knicks getting into the playoffs. We can't even dream about taking one of the top 6 playoff spots without Jalen Brunson. We can't even dream about that. He's everything we thought he would be and more. He's not afraid. He doesn't get rattled. He knows when a big shot is needed. He makes the right play. He doesn't force force the issue. He's in complete control out there. Yep. Say it again. Brunson is the key to it all. And he's making everybody better. I'm sure Randall worked on some things his own over the season, over the off season. But to have Brunson here, taking the pressure off of him, to have Brunson here being the primary facilitator, the primary decision maker, that's huge. That's huge for us as a team. That's huge for Randall. Now Randall can step back and just play your role. Just be a power forward. Just be a secondary facilitator. Just, when you have the ball in your hands, make good decisions. That's just basketball. When you have the ball in your hand and you double team that's just basketball, right? He doesn't have to facilitate the entire offense. Why? Because Brunson was here. And I think this is what the Knicks were trying to do when they brought in Kemba Walker. It just didn't work out. They had a do-over. They got it right this time. They brought in Jalen Brunson, and he doing the damn thing. He is. Kerry Cox, I agree. RJ will fall into play. Is there anybody concerned about RJ? Like, I'm just not concerned, about RJ right now. Brunson will average 10.3 assists per game. Wow. I hope you're right. That means we're hitting shots too. That means we will. Brunson. Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. RJ will be fine. Well, we got mixed reviews in terms of whether RJ will be fine. Eddie F is very concerned about RJ. Thomas Banks, RJ will be fine. So do I, Pudge. So do I. RJ needs to lose weight. So yeah. Any other thoughts on it? Seems like we say the same thing about Brunson every game, right? He's just steady. He's just steady. All right. Moving right along here. These are the stats from last night's game. The Knicks out-rebounded them by 4, 46-42. Assists, just 26 to their 31. Assists were 26.8 for the season. We're ranked 10th in the league in terms of assists. 5 steals, 11 block shots. Mitch with 6 of them. 16 turnovers, but still averaging 13.5 for the season, 8th in the league as far as turnovers are concerned. But these are the numbers that I'm loving. 53.6% from the field, 36.7% from the three-point line. Now, that 36.7 from the three may not be great, but coming in, I think we were shooting just 33%. And on the free throw line, 86.4. Coming in, the Knicks were shooting, I want to say 72, 73% from the free throw line. You want to win close games? You want to be in a game in crunch time and pull it out? You got to hit your free throws. How many games last season did we lose because we couldn't hit free throws down the stretch? Or we couldn't even get back into a game because we were missing free throws, right? You want to be a good team? Hit your free throws. You want to win close games? Hit your free throws. It seems like we have that clutch player now, because remember, that was the concern. Who are you going to down the stretch? Who can you throw the ball to and say, get me a bucket? And it looks like that's becoming Brunson, right? At the same time, though, the other thing you need to close out close games is good free throw shooting. Knicks 86.4% last night. RJ with the 2 big free throws, to close the game last night. Knicks 74 points in the paint, 21 second chance points, only 5 fast break points. Last game, only 8 fast break points. So, and the pace, I think we're now 16. I think the first 2 games we might have been top 10 or something like that. So you see the pace slowing down. You see the fast break points slowing down a little bit, but we're still, moving the ball. Yeah. Yes, Kerry Cox. We lost like 5 to 7 games because of missed free throws, right? Yes, we did. No doubt about it. RJ made those free throws. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And he better had. You gonna blow up Brunson the way he was playing? You better make those free throws. And he did. And he's been shooting well from the free throw line coming in, right? Over 80%. Shot powers, action Brunson, a.k.a. the closer. Book it. Yeah. JJ, he said, forget about all this playoff talk. Lack of shooting and lack of perimeter defense in the starting lineup going to be our downfall. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think our perimeter defense has to get better. We're scoring despite the lack of spacing. We're still scoring. But you're right. Listen, we're gonna see against Milwaukee, when you play those teams that's locking it down, not allowing you to drive to the basket, that's when your shooting has to be on. We'll see. We're gonna go over Milwaukee in a minute. The #1 team in defensive rating. We'll talk about that. Yeah. Jerrell, I wanted RJ to give up the ball, but he said, nah, and I respect it. Yeah. Yeah. RJ is shooting 87.5% from the field. Yeah. Like I said, over 80%. Worldwide L, appreciate you stopping by. Our defense needs to pick it up some in order for us to pick up our fast break points. Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. All right. Next game against Milwaukee. This was last night, so I think the offensive and defensive ratings are off. But right now the Knicks are 3-1. The Bucks are 3-0. They just beat the Brooklyn Nets last night. We're 6 in the stand. This was as of last night. Let's see where we are now. Okay, yeah. Knicks are 6 in the standings in the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee is first, right? Offensive rating, I have the updated numbers. The Knicks are 5th in offensive rating and 8th in defensive rating. Can you imagine if the Knicks can finish top 10 in both offensive and defensive rating? Like, I'm not sure that's going to hold. I see the Knicks probably being probably in the top half of the league in both offense and defense. Top 10, you're talking about a very good team. Offensive rating, this was as of last night. The Bucks were 23rd. Remember, they're without Middleton. So their offense doesn't seem to be humming along. I need to take a look at their pace. They're probably playing at a slower pace as well. Defensive rating, 98.3, first in the league. So that's for those who don't understand offensive and defensive rating is basically how many points does a team score or hold another team to over 100 possessions. And that allows you to be able to compare teams, right? If you just look at points, wow, this team is averaging 120 points, but they're playing at a faster pace. They're giving up more shots. They're getting up more shots per game, and then you're trying to compare them with a team that's only averaging 100 points per game, but they're playing at a very slow, methodical pace. So when you look at points, it's hard to judge a team because they play at a different pace. But when you look at the offensive rating, you're taking 100 possessions for every team. What do they score in 100 possessions on average? And then that allows you to compare teams offensively and defensively For those who didn't know what offensive and defensive rating is. So it allows us to compare. They're first in the league in defense per 100 possessions, giving up 98 points. Knicks per 100 possessions, again, this is off, giving up 108 points. Obviously, that game last night skewed things a little bit. I anticipate having the same starters in the Milwaukee game: Brunson, Fournier, Barrett, Randall, Robinson. Tibbs will make a change, but not in 3. Like, we talking about 20, 25 games before we see a change. I would be shocked if I saw a change in the starting lineup before 20 to 25 games. Good morning, Tyon Reed. The starters, at least in their last game against Brooklyn for Milwaukee, was Drew Holiday, Javon Carter, Grayson Allen, Giannis Antetokounmpo, hope I said that right, and Brook Lopez. I mean, when you look at the starting lineup, what's the first thing that come to mind? We could take them. There's no names that pop off this page. We could take them. And I feel good about the Knicks going into Milwaukee. And this game is at Milwaukee, and it is Friday. I feel really good about the Knicks going into this game because of how we were playing. But this is going to be a test for us because defensively, they're going to guard. Drew Holiday is going to guard. I'm really interested in the Brunson-Drew Holiday matchup because both of them are very good guards. Both of them are very heady guards. Both of them control the tempo, control the team, get them into good shots. Giannis handles the ball a lot as well for them. Randall usually plays well against Giannis. So Randall, I anticipate that he's going to be up for the task. But Giannis is a load. We already know. Now, I think in terms of our depth, the rest of our starting lineup and our bench, I think is why I'm feeling pretty confident going into Milwaukee. But I am happy about seeing the Knicks play tough teams. I just want to see, where we are. Bobby Portis. Yes, they do have Bobby Portis off the bench. Yep. Andrew, appreciate you. Rebuild NYK. Bucks really good defensively. Yes, they are. Jalbino 59. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Grayson Allen needs to be contained. Need to put cam on him at times. Listen, I mean, yeah, and we will do that. But RJ Barrett has to be up for the task. Evan Fournier has to be up for the. When you look around this league, those wing positions, that's where the scorers are a lot of times. And we rolling out Evan Fournier and RJ Barrett, both who are not good defenders in my opinion. Overall, they're not plus defenders. The effort is there for both of them. Both of them can have good possessions, but consistently being a good defender, possession after possession after possession, neither one of them are there right now. But they have their moments. Eddie F. Guys, I need a competitive showing in Milwaukee tomorrow. I can't represent and get embarrassed. I feel like I will be the only person in the building in blue and orange right now. Eddie F. going to the Milwaukee game. Eddie F., relax. Get your popcorn. Get you a little drink if you drink and relax. The Knicks, I'll guarantee you one thing. I don't know if I can guarantee a win, but the Knicks will show up. This will be a competitive game, Mark. But I wasn't even thinking about being competitive. I was just thinking about, I think we can get this one, But yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that, that we will beat them. We will show up and be in the game down the stretch with an opportunity to win it. Parrish Duggar, appreciate you. We just got to beat teams without superstars and give the good teams hell. Yeah, I mean, you will hear, coaches say that, beat the teams you're supposed to be competitive with the rest of them. Can the Knicks win against these top-heavy teams. You know, will the Knicks with their 2004 Detroit Piston depth win against these heavy hitters that have stars and superstars at the top of their lineup? You know, we shall see. We're too slow. Yeah. All right. Let's just get to what's next. Where to find me. I'll be back here Saturday after we play Milwaukee Saturday morning for the morning recap show. Queens Court, Monday, 8 p.m. On NBK, Nothing But Knicks Network. And that morning, I should have reversed it. That morning, the morning recap show as well, because Sunday we will play, who is that? Cleveland. We play Cleveland Sunday night. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Sherwin, Shotgunner, White Falcon 44, Pudge, Jeff Clafter, Paris Duggar, Eddie F, Jerrell, appreciate you, JJ. Am I missing anybody? Andrew, Kerry Cox, Shy Powers, I know was in the building, Deron Wayne, Khalil Smalling, D's World of Hoops, appreciate you. I think I got everybody. Rebuild NYK if I hadn't said that before. Jalbino 59, Keith Turner. Anyway, I appreciate everybody who showed up for the morning recap. Hit the like button if you're appreciating the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Peace, fam.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now, please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul Sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. That like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the NBK. Born and raised up NBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?